Hang on. Okay, I'm really hoping it's actually going to turn on. Makes me very nervous. Oh, it's going to. Okay. Hi, everyone. It just makes me so happy now. You're like, wow, it doesn't take much, does it? Not anymore, anyway. Oh, my God, you guys. Okay, guess what? Sean bought me, like, I don't know, are whole bags this big? I don't think so. Because usually... What is my dog doing? Usually I like the little tiny bags, not the tiny bags, not the tiny bags, but like the medium-sized bags, because then I can kind of keep track of how much I'm eating. I don't like the little tiny ones. The tiniest ones, those ones are stupid. It's like it just gives you like it's like an appetizer for your appetizer. Anyway, I'm so glad about daylight savings time, you guys, I think. Anyway, because now I have more time in the day to do my stuff. Whereas I'm just telling you, these little popcorn kernels of sheep and goats. So I had a goat last night, and then I had one this morning, and it rained again. I honestly don't even think during El Nino we rained this much. I mean, it is. So the last review that someone left, which was I think yesterday, she said that she loves it, and she'll definitely be back, but it does smell like animals. I'm like, geez, that's weird. There's 300 sheep and mud. You guys can only... Stop it! I'm going to beat you within an inch of your life. Anyway, it's just scrappy. But anyway, so it had a baby in the mud. But I heard, like, you know, there's... When you're a farmer, there's a distinct... You know how when you're a mother, you know when your baby's hurt, when it's crying, it's hurt? You end up knowing the same things about your livestock. It's crazy. Like, you know when something's freshly out of the oven, and you know when it's lost its mother. I mean, and you know when it's hungry. I mean, it's just the weirdest thing. You actually learn all of those. Basically, you speak goat and sheep. I would give you my sheep imitation. It's not very good. But my goat one is very good. And I love to call, you know, people have a vibrato when they sing. It's like, yeah. I call them goat people. That's right. You're like, you're so creative. I know. I am, huh? Not. Anyway, so other than that, you guys, let me see who's in here. And then I'm going to visit, and I'm going to, I like fully engaged in, you guys are like, it's so stupid, Natalie. Fully engaged in the sweater. I am fully engaging in the sweater April 2nd. But I have to finish the hat because everybody wanted to do the hat. So I'll show it to you later. I did kind of a mosaic thing. Why? Because it was the easiest way of of bringing up color. And then because I knit loose, and this is a really, it's pretty bulky yarn. So you can't have like three stitches in between of a bulky, this is on a 7 needle. But anyway, because you can, get your finger caught or something. So what I did is I'll tell you about it later, what I did. You're like, no, tell us now, please. It's a teaser. It actually, I thought it was really creative. And then you guys are going to be like, everybody does that. And I'm going to be like, oh, God. Well, let's just pretend I invented it. Okay, hang on. Hi, everybody. Okay, let's see. Diana and Allison and Elime and Jody. Hi. And Christine and Susie Q. Gentry 1753. And Jane, Shannon, Julia, you guys, like, I feel like, so some guy said that he was reading a book, and basically it has to do with some guy. You're like, could you just tell us, like, give us a clue? An intelligent guy that was staying at my Airbnbs, very good looking. And he was telling me that there's a book that somebody wrote, and basically it's like California is supposed to be essentially uninhabitable. Which I agree now because of the politics. However, he's talking about the water. Before I go any further, I should tell you, it's getting really now. Like when I blow my nose on it, I'll get a new one. That's so dumb. Yarnitarian. It's episode 14, you guys. You're like, I know, it feels like it too. No. I'm promising you, I don't know when, but I'm going to get a new paper. And I'm probably going to have a board. Yarnitarian. It's all things life and sometimes knitting, yarn, and fiber. All while high on Flamin Hot Cheetos. And cheap American beer, which I love. Cheap American beer. I swear to God, I'm going to strangle my Pyrenees right now. There's some, you know, when something just for some reason on a day bothers you. Like, I usually don't even hear her barking anymore because if you guys have livestock guardians, you know that they bark incessantly. And for some reason, I don't notice my dogs barking. However, I do notice my dogs barking, but her, not really. But when everybody else's dogs, let me tell you, I notice those barking. But anyway, I wanted to throat throttle her all day. I don't even know where I was, you guys. I'm sorry. Wait, I was talking about the California, and there was a reason I was telling you that. I can't even remember. But all I can tell you is that I'm so afraid my animals are going to drown and have the babies in, like this morning when it was in the mud. Because what happens is, especially Angora goats, mohair doesn't really like water. And so and also they don't have a lot of body fat. I mean, even the does, Angora goats just don't carry a lot of weight. They put all of their energy into their fiber, especially if they're good. And so I heard this, you know, it was obviously brand new baby. And then I ran outside and there was this little tiny baby, and it was like all covered with mud, and it was a brand new mother. And there was she could have had it in the grass because they're actually in this, like, looks, because they've really mowed it down, but looks like a very short cut, very grass cut, very, very short, almost like a putting green, except there's geese on it, and peafowl, and goats, and one sheep. But anyway, and I grabbed it and I blew it dry, and then I have this thing that's like, you know those things you put in the microwave and you put around your neck? They have those for livestock, and yeah, you put it around their neck and then you give them a pedicure. No, but what it is it's those beads in in like a canvas covering, and then you like strap it around their midline. You put it in the microwave and strap it around their midline, and it helps get them warm. And so I blew it dry and then put that around it and got it warmed up. And Smother's really good. And then Smother was so wet because it rained last night. Smother was soaking wet, and her fleece is like that long. But I can't. Anybody also who raises Angora goats knows that it's very difficult for the babies to nurse when the fleeces are that long, and a lot of the time it covers the teats completely, and then it like will mat around the teat. So the baby has no chance ever of getting it. So then I had to shear her. It was like, I had to shear a wet goat. And then this afternoon, actually a ewe had a baby, a first-time mother. And my neighbor told my husband that there was some ewe. And of course, when they're not sheep people, I never believe what people say. So Sean comes in and he's like, the neighbor says that there's a ewe who isn't taking her baby. And she keeps like pushing it out of the way. I'm like, it's probably somebody else's baby. Like, and she doesn't, you know, because they don't want to nurse somebody else's baby. So I go out there, sure enough, the lady was right. And she, on the way out, decided that she was just going to lay down in the mud. She had a fleece also that was about this long. And so she laid down in the mud, 3 or 4 times, flipped over. I mean, her fleece was just, it was disgusting. It was a disgusting mess. And especially with all that sandy loam on it, it just like weighs it down really heavy. So I grabbed the shears, and then I had to shear her, just like you guys. Horrible, disgusting, wet fleece. Ugh. Anyway. You're like, what else did you do today? Nothing fun. Just that kind of stuff. But you know what? I'm telling you, the forum really helped me because I am on it. Like, I am on it. I'm going to make my Airbnb experiences, and I'm really excited about that. So what I'm going to do, because I'm going to do it under Reading Fiber Arts Preservation Society. So it's to, you know, preserve agriculture and the fiber arts. So I'm going to be teaching through Airbnb experience. I talked about this a little bit last week, but I'm going to be teaching, yarn dyeing and nabori, which is silk dyeing, you know, making patterns on silk. So like the scarves back there that I showed you before. And most of the classes that I teach, I'm going to teach to the general public, people that come here, you know, to basically wine it on. You guys, I always know who went to the wineries because the next day, the cottages, whatever ones they're staying in, smell like somebody who has been drinking a lot and eating a lot of garlic and onions. It's disgusting. It's really gross. It is really sick. It really bothers me. So usually, also like by the time have you guys ever used Fabuloso? Fabuloso is like a floor cleaner, but there is nothing that Fabuloso can't take care of. I get the lavender scented one, and I mean, Fabuloso kills anything. I'm really serious about that. You guys should try it. Okay, some of us are wondering what pattern you used on your hat. You guys, I didn't use a pattern. You guys want me to show it to you, huh? I will. Okay, let me read. Oh, you only have, okay, wait. I want to read from the bottom down. And then Jenna says that sorry. Oh, and then Jane's in LA. Los Angeles, right? Not Louisiana. Well, Jane, why don't you come visit? She's like, because I don't even know you and I don't like you. No, seriously, I'm only a hop, skip, and a jump away. Oh, and Allison, don't start. She said, confession, I've never had Flamin Hot Cheetos. If you do, even, like, I don't like Cheetos. First of all, just to let everybody know, I do not like Cheetos. And then I was desperate one day. There was no food in the house. My husband could probably debate that. But I wanted something snack food-ish. And so the kids, you know, at Costco, they have those big boxes of, like, you know, snacks for your lunch or whatever. And this was, like, the hot one that had, like, hot Doritos. Not Doritos, but hot Fritos. Fritos and hot Funyuns. And anyway, it had these in it. And this was all that was left. And I opened the bag, and I found them somewhat satisfying to the point that I became addicted. I actually am. So I would just suggest not to do it. Just don't do it. Because even if you're not, if you don't like Cheetos, you might like these. And then Jody says she hasn't had them either. And Jenna's saying, sorry that I'm still getting rain. I know. And you know what? California is so smart that we did not put in any rain containers to catch the rain. So it's all running off into the ocean. And then you know that they're going to be crying about how we all have to, you know, conserve water. Nobody can water their lawn. Nobody can have a lawn, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I almost feel like it's, at this point, it's propaganda. We've had enough rain. I mean, now, literally more than El Nino. I'm telling you, it's insane. And then Jane's saying, yes, lambs and kids sound very different, and they really do. I mean, one sounds like a scream. And hi, Jamie. Jamie, I haven't seen you in so long. And Julia's saying she'd love to learn. Okay, just to let you know, there are things that I know, Julia, but she's saying that she'd love to learn a fraction of what I know. Well, about farming, I do know, you know who knows a lot? The dairy farmers. Dairy farmers are so impressive because they literally do pretty much, I mean, the amount of knowledge that a dairy farmer has to have is a lot. It is. Very impressive. And then Shannon's saying she only has 3 rows left and the hat will be done. Mine is darn close. I mean, okay, it's more than 3. Wait, let me just measure this really quick. Mine might be like 7 or 8 rows, maybe. Okay, I might be lying. Let me try this again. 10 rows. Because it's so bulky, so 10 rows. I don't know, and I've worked on it only once since, okay, 3 times, just kidding, once. Okay, Ms. Shelley, hey, hello, and Andrea, and let's see, Susan and Kelly, hi. And then Allison was asking what pattern I used on my hat. I didn't use a pattern. So, I did not use a pattern. I just knit it. And then I think I cast on, I actually know what I cast on. I cast on 72 with a size 7 needle, and then I had to double up my yarn because my yarn was not bulky enough. It wasn't bulky enough, which I could just look at it and tell. I mean, you can look at it and see that my hand spun is looking quite a bit bigger, even though it wasn't, it wasn't huge, but still. But anyway, so, and then you guys are like, we don't really want to talk about this right now. Actually, give it to us now instead of making us wait till the end. But I cast on with a size 6 needle. And then I changed needles after the, I want to say it was 4 rows of rib, 1 by 1 rib. And I changed to a 7 and then increased 4 stitches. So that it will be, so that it'll be slouchy. And now I'm just gonna, gonna knit up to around 9 inches, I think. And I'm not sure when, I'm just gonna have to see how it goes. I'm gonna look at it. Like, I do a lot of evaluating because I don't know if, okay, so if you just follow a pattern and you don't check in to see what's going on, Like, a lot of shit can go down that's not good. So I'm constantly checking and looking at things to make sure that whatever in my mind, like you know, knitting a hat's just so easy. It really is easy, you know. So, but wherever in your mind you're going to start decreasing, before you start decreasing, you still want to just check in. You know, you just want to check in and make sure that that looks like, or like, you know, when I cast on, making sure that that it kind of looks, after about the first couple of rows, I look at it and I'm just like, is this going to work out? You know, so I mean, I'm always checking in, and no matter what, sweater, especially something like sweaters. I mean, like something that's like a, you know, where you always want to just check in and not just like follow the pattern, like read it and just follow it, because either, you know, and a lot of the time you may have a better way of like short rows than they have, or you might, you know, or I don't know. And I am a person who won't follow a pattern completely ever. So that's the other thing. So even the sweater that I'm going to do, this V-neck sweater, I'm going to make the V deeper. So essentially I'm going to line it up with the bottom of my, like right about my, the bottom of, a little bit lower than my underarm, like about my nipple line. You're like, wow, she said nipple. I did. Because I like deep V's. I just like them. I like them a lot. I just think they're pretty. I don't know that they're feminine. Okay, let's see. Wait, I gotta scroll. And then Lance says, love my dedication to my animals, my projects. Okay, Lance, though, I had, like, last year was a bad year for me. I allowed it to be a bad year. That's just the truth. And I am so behind. I have never been this behind in my entire life. A lot of my fleeces are ruined. So I get to I get to watch the fruits of my labor like be completely destroyed. Like a lot of them. The ones that I didn't let get ruined though, which was smart, was my all my lamb fleeces. I think I knocked my cord. You guys, I think I knocked my cord. I'm sorry. I'm gonna make Sean fix it. Okay, it's coming. Refresh. I knocked my cord. I'm sorry. Oh my God, is it buffering again? Did I knock my cord again? No, I didn't. Okay. Anyway, so, I don't even know where I was because it freaked me out that I saw it buffering. And I have no idea where it's buffered, where it started buffering. But just let me finish what I was thinking about the lamb tips. The reason why I shear them at 3 to 5 months rather than like at 2 months is because the combs on the shears are too wide. And it's too hard to get like in their chest, and you can really hurt them. I mean, you really can. You can really, and I don't use the machine and hand ones. Like today I did to shear the ones that are the ones that had the babies, so that I could just do it in the stall. But I use the solid down tube, and then I use, you know, the machine. It's the big, and it's really powerful. And so you have to be very, very careful. And I have really seriously, like, fatally injured an animal before. So anyhow, that was early on. But you know, you feel terrible. Okay. God darn it. Why is it doing it again? It's being ridiculous. No, you're back. We're back. But I need you to go and turn my phone off. Just do that. And then make sure that the kids.
They don't have anything.
I don't trust those kids. I don't know why. Anyway, okay. Let's see. My mirror's right here. But if I don't want to, okay, I never. Okay, Ms. Shelley says she doesn't use patterns either. And Ellie Mae saying they always find a way to get dirty. Let me tell you. So let me just say this though. Oh my God, you guys, I got tripped because I'm not used to the mud. So I have the feed carts are like those. The feed, what I put the hay, it's chaff right now. I'm feeding chaff instead of those little bills that are like, you know, 60 pounds, 70 pounds. So anyhow, though, I have to, and I want to say there's like I can put like maybe 250 pounds of hay in there. And I have to drag it. Now I have to drag it through mud. Oh my God. Like I ate it so bad today in the mud, like fully face planted. And when I was trying to bring that ewe in, I fully face planted again because she decided to lay down right. So Sean at first was in front and I was behind her, you know, pulling her tail. Because if you like lift their tail, the little corn nub and tail up, what will happen is it will shoot them forward, right? So I do that, but she decides to like just her feet just fall out from underneath her on purpose. She just like lays down because she doesn't want to leave that pen. I literally took a header right over the top of her. I have put, today I changed my socks 4 times, and I changed my jeans and my coveralls 3 times. That's how many times, like, I either, like, for whatever it was that happened, like, it was bad, man. You guys, it's so muddy. It's just a horrible, horrible mess. Which brings me to somebody wrote from Airbnb and is going to do a wedding here, and they're like, we want to, like, they didn't even come and see it before they committed to it. So then they're like, but we want to come see just so we can plan out where things are going to be. And I got really nervous because it is muddy. And they came out and they were like, this place is so amazing. I'm like, really? Well, if you think it's amazing now, just wait until it's not muddy. I mean, it's bad. And you know how it is, like, all those, oh my, you guys, there's so much manure that's just wet and disgusting. It's gross. Okay, I'm reading out. Okay, let's see. Beer and hot Cheetos are the bomb. Yes, they are little bits of heaven homestead. And then Lisa Wonderly saying she ordered her dice from ProChem and got them in the mail a couple days ago. So tonight, when her daughter's in bed, she's going to die her first vlog. So that's really, don't be nervous. Just do it. Do it, baby. And then Ellie Mae says the cries of the lamb that almost dies is so distinct. Let me think about this. Yeah, it actually is. It's very weak, and it's like, it sounds like it's dying. It does. And then Amber says, finally caught you live. Happy dance. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not that thrilling today. And then Jody says, alpacas really scream. They are ridiculous. And she says she can't imagine a ton of babies. Her baby queen gets so much of it. Yeah. We have the one, Pearl is like, now what I do is I put Pearl in the back because the dogs bit her, right? And so she knows that's one of the reasons why she didn't want to get up. And so, which instead of pneumonia, it was that. Jenny didn't see it on the side of her. And I saw it, like, I was looking at her, I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder you don't want to get up because you're hurt. So I gave her antibiotics, and then the next day she was fine. I gave her some painkillers. Anyhow, so now I put her in the back where Gooby, the resident rescue standard poodle lives. He lives with her back there until nighttime, and then she comes in our house, and she lives in a cage. It's like one of those dog cages, and she actually doesn't mind it. You're like, really? Because it's not you that's in there. But no, she would cry, believe me, because she does cry when she cries at about 12 o'clock to eat, and then she cries at about 6 o'clock in the morning. So, and then that's when, I get up, obviously. We get up and we feed her. And then at 6 o'clock, I put her in the back. And then she gets to run around in the back and do whatever she wants with Gooby. And then she goes over and starts eating alfalfa, which is really good because the more alfalfa that she eats, the less I have to feed her. And then Diana said buffering. And then Cindy said, or you shouldn't be buffering now. Okie dokie. And then, Pete in Person products. Good. How many stitches did I cast on for my hat? 72. And then Andrea saying, is that a peacock? Yes. And Vienne, hi Vienne. Perry, hi Perry. Clear and cold in NB Canada. Okay, don't laugh, but I don't know what NB is. I'm thinking. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I wish I knew. Okie dokie. Let's see. Oh, and Amber says, I don't trust those kids. Her 3 are Wi-Fi hogs. Yes. And then Shannon says, slick is not the mud. Yes, it is. Good for complexion, right? Lol. No, but you know what I have been doing for my complexion? And I don't do it enough. But I have been putting Retin-A on it because my skin was getting like, I can't stand, it's ADHD. That's my story. That's my con, right? But if I feel a bump on my face, I can't stand it. I really can't. And so I have been using Retin-A for the last, I want to say, maybe 6 days. And then what it does is it peels your skin. And then I take a loofah and I scrub it so hard. I mean, it actually, my face looks underneath foundation, it looks a little bit chapped, like as if I went skiing or something. It's red, but it's taking off so much skin, and it makes me feel so, I honestly, makes me feel so much better. I can't stand little bumps. I hate them. And I don't have facials. I actually don't, never. Let's see. And then little bits of heaven. She says my place is amazing. Actually, it could be. I mean, it's My fences, I just can't. I mean, we're in the hole every month anyway as it is. So there's no way to, and I'm worried because remember my hay deal is gone and my hay's getting low. So Sean did talk to the guy, and the guy seems very receptive to trying to help us. And it's a big hay company, but basically my husband's like, you know, they're trying to, you know. I don't know where my phone is either.
You don't have it on you?
No, baby, I don't. You know what? It's in there somewhere because remember we used it last night for music. Just keep looking. Yes, we tied one on again last night. It was so much fun. It's so much fun. Anyway, so he was really receptive to helping us, and he said that it actually isn't that. Okay, don't laugh, because I know it sounded ridiculous, but he said it's really not that much for them to ship it from Washington, so because they already ship to LA, so they took the facility that was in Long Beach and they closed it down, and then next year they're going to have one open in a facility in Arizona because it's a lot less expensive to do business in Arizona. So anyhow, I don't know. They must have because it would cost me $500 to have it sent from Long Beach to here, which is an hour. So, I mean, think about it. Washington is a long ways away. But they're the kick-out, so no matter what, it might be worth it for me at $110 a ton, which is ridiculously cheap, you guys. Hello, Miss Dahlia and Linda Lightcap and Allison. Hello. The East Coast Province of New Brunswick. Thank you, Perry. East Coast, I'm going to have to look that up on it. And then Elizabeth was saying New Brunswick. And Allison said, I have no questions, just rolling. Allison totally. Oh, and hi, Diana. She said she loves regular Cheetos. Allison helped me yesterday because we had to do something for the 501c3. It was like submitting the tax, whatever. But Allison is like one of these people because she's a paralegal, so she's one of these people that's totally detail oriented. And me, I start freaking out the second that there's something that I have to do that you have to do it perfectly and do it right. And anything paperwork, there's not a chance that I am not going to mess it up. So there's a double negative. There's zero chance that I'll do it correctly. I will do it wrong. So when this didn't used to be this way. Okay, so to get your Indian card, your American Indian card, you have to have if it's one of the 5 civilized tribes, you have to have a direct lineage to the Dawes rule, which I think they closed down in 1907, and it wasn't easy to get on. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Cherokee Nation you had to fill out all of this paperwork, and then it was very specific the way you had to do the paperwork. And if you did any of it wrong, they would put you at the back of the line, and the back of the line was already like 6 or 7 months long. I'm not kidding you. And so you have to get certified copies of like death certificates and birth certificates and all these things. Well, one of the mistakes I made was that I thought they just had county certified, but they had to be state certified. So then that went back. It took me 4 years. That's how many mistakes I made. 4 years. 4 years. Because I just kept having to go back to the beginning of the line. I was getting so pissed. And I would be so careful to make sure that I was doing it right because, Cherokees don't get money, but we do. There's things that we get, like we can go to the Indian clinics, and there's, there's a few things that it's helpful for, right? I was getting so mad at myself, and no matter how hard I tried, it's like, and I know that that's a con. It's just like an excuse. It's saying that it's because I have ADHD, but I'm sure that I really will take responsibility. I really take responsibility, but it's almost impossible. And I swear I'm looking at it and I'm doing everything. You're like, how did you get through school? I don't know. I'm thinking that, anything I did, I actually took accounting for business majors. And I don't know why I took that. It was like to fulfill some requirement. And actually, I got an A in it. And then like math, it's different. Math is very engaging. It's very engaging. So that's why I'm good at math, because it's especially, I don't know, when you get into higher math, I just found it so rewarding. So I guess maybe part of it is that it doesn't hold, paperwork is not something that can hold my attention long enough. Is basically what it boils down to. You guys are like, we just don't give a shit. I don't give a shit either, except that I keep making mistakes on things, but Allison has helped me so many times. And then Teresa Glanville says, I'm also in New Brunswick, and I have a fan base of 2. That's great. That makes me, actually, that's better than 0, right? Oh my God, you guys, it tells you how many, let's see, wait. Little Bits of Heaven Homestead says she's paying $22 for a 3-string bale. That is like, that's what happens when you sell, not you personally, when they sell our hay to the Chinese. And then So Girl Quilting is in Utah on 5 acres. I just looked at Utah today. They did a great job of advertising the five of the state parks, and they had like horseback riding, and of course I have horses. And I said to Sean, oh my gosh, we should take my living quarters trailer, our living quarters trailer, up there and go, because Sean loves to ride, but he will, and go and do a vacation, not really, but and there and go riding in, was it Bryce? It looked like Bryce was the one. So anyway, I was thinking that would be a way to have a vacation but not have to pay for a hotel, because I have the hotel as part of the horse trailer. And it has a stove and it has a full-size shower and everything. It's like awesome. Oh my gosh, Amber Brown said that her landmark changed her life too. Okay, I'm sorry I screamed. Sorry, I got excited. And then Sherry's saying that her iPad comes up in her husband's name. I don't mind if I would be okay with that. So anyway, So Girl Quilting, so the Utah thing, I was like, it would be really cool. This was my idea today. This is what I wanted to do with my husband. I wanted to go and us just like literally, if the trailer is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. So nobody would be able to knock the entire however long we were there, which I think if Jenny was staying here, it would be like maybe, it takes 6 hours to get there. I would say I'd be gone maybe 12 hours, and she'd be like, something today, that one, I was out so happy that she didn't have to go through that, because she would call hysterical and go, the black one's dying, it's dying, it's dying. And it didn't. And you know, people that farm know that when they get super, super cold and they haven't had any colostrum, they are limp. I mean, you think they're going to die. And lambs, a lot of the time, can't pull out of it, but goats, for some reason, seem to be able to. And then Shannon says, we grow our own grass. Hey, stop it. I'm a little jealous. But I do like to have it alfalfa on hand. Our vet said it was so nice, such a nice grass. I love grass and alfalfa combination. And oddly enough, a lot of these kickouts are that. And that's probably why they were kicked out, because they're not supposed to have any grass in them. And let's see, okay, Teresa's outside of Woodstock. Is that like I know that we're not talking, I know New Brunswick we're talking about, but is that like New York? Don't laugh. Is it? Because I know that Niagara Falls is part in Canada, part in the United States. So I'm wondering if Woodstock is like, the Woodstocks are fairly close. I don't know. Hi, Carol. And then Amber said that she missed the last few live shows. Let me just say this though. I have to tell you. So did you do any of the other ones? Because because I know that Amber knows this, but they give you like these 7 things for free. It's like a group thing where you go. Is it called Expression? The something expression, I don't know, but it's like a group thing. So if it is included with your $700 that you pay, you guys, but the $700 totally worth it. And I'm not a person, let me just tell you, like, I'm not kidding you, we don't have a pension, neither of us have a pension. I mean, we live, on this, and it's, we're in the hole every month, and I just use credit cards, and just the way it is. I quite frankly don't care, because I'm gonna farm. I want to farm. And if I didn't have farming, my God, like, I have to tell you that with hard work, it's amazing if you get physically exhausted every day, how less of an asshole one can be because you're tired. You're really tired. So like things that you would focus on that would annoy you might still annoy you, but you just go, you know what? I can't, because I'm exhausted. So I don't care. And then you just like, it's so nice to go to bed tired. I mean, I remember when I lived in Northern California when I was little, and I'd go to where my pony was, and it was like on 500 acres. So we could ride. It was so much fun, but it would be cold and raining and we'd get wet. And then we'd ride through, there was like this, it was like a pond, and we'd ride through this pond and we'd be soaking wet. And then we'd be so tired, and I'd come home, and I would take a really hot shower, and then I would eat like chicken noodle soup, and it would be nighttime, and I would just sleep so good. And that's still, I have that feeling like when I work really, really hard, and then I take a shower, and you know, I eat something, and have a couple beers, which I of course didn't do when I was like 6. But it's just so rewarding, and you feel like you've earned the ability to relax, and you don't sweat the little stuff, I don't think. Because if I don't get a lot of physical labor in, I will sweat the little stuff. I'll like obsess. And Amber Pam saying Sean and I should do that. And then Gail said, Gail, how's your mother? Seriously, I think about her all the time. I really do actually think about her all the time. And then Nina, is it Leah? Leah or Lee? Leah. You guys, I'm sorry, 11. I hate it when I don't get it right. And then Vivian says, agree, exhausted instead of Prozac. Much better than spending money on a gym membership. I have a gym membership, which I never go to. Full-time farming rancher makes you tired. It does. And then Ms. Jelly is saying, I know what you mean. My body loves a hard day. Well, yes. I did the first run in the free stuff 10 years ago. It was all I needed. Okay, should be taught in school. Our personalities are much the same. Amber, totally. The first run in the free stuff 10 years ago. I'm telling you, I agree. Yeah. Linda. Okay, your name's Linda. Okay, good. Thank you. You're like, let's just make it easy. Let's give Natalie a name that she can actually pronounce. So the gal that's my tenant, she's not going to be my tenant for much longer. She's moving, which is really good because now I'm going to make it an Airbnb. You're like, wow, you're really into these Airbnbs, aren't you? I actually, you guys, they're just profitable. That's the thing, is that makes, this is what's between the experiences and, you know, and doing, promoting farming, doing those experiences. I'm going to, and having the Airbnbs, I'm going to be able to, I just have to hang on for a little bit longer, and it's going to be, you know, it's very, farming in California, they don't want it, and that's just the bottom line. They don't want it. You guys, they're trying to do something, this new thing. Allison knows more. Allison explains it a lot to me because she is also, she promotes agriculture a lot in Northern California, and she has a charity, and she was explaining to me that they're not only, you guys have to look at Prop 12 in California if you really want to go get crazy, but they're doing something where basically they're, instead of like right to farm, they're doing the opposite. Like you're not basically allowed to own animals like as property. I just, you guys, I'm like dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded. I'm just, it's like, I don't know what to say, because everybody would say, oh, that's never going to pass. It's going to pass. It's in Ventura. And, oh, Linda, you're like, Natalie, could you pay attention? I know, I did see, because I know Linda Light. I know you. And then Gail saying that her mom's good and her brother's for a couple of days. Her mother's a lovely person. The polar vortex was hard work, and the polar vortex was good sleep. Oh, and then Valerie says, hi, sorry, late drama in my woman's recovery home. Oh, that kind of drama must be really like juicy. And then Vienne says, I don't think they want farmers anywhere. They make it nearly impossible, it seems. Yes. $22 a bale for like 100, you guys, that's like 100-pound bale of hay. That's absurd. And then Vienne says have to diversify. Well, I mean, this whole thing of like, I also, you know, the whole thing of giving back and like promoting agriculture. I love ag, which is so funny because it's just so funny how much I love it. It really is. I think it's because I see the importance of it. I see the importance of it. And I also, because it's very tied into, I mean, my love, my whole life has always been animals. Humans are cruel. Humans are cruel. They're cruel. They're cruel, and at the end of the day, I would like to think, this is serious now, I would like to think that that people, you can really believe that they would have your best interest at heart, and they would do whatever they could to help you. And there are those people, but I don't know very many, maybe any, that they ultimately wouldn't come first. That sounds horrible and like it must be coming from me, but I don't think so. I think that I've, you know, I try not to ask people for help. Roberta right now, Bammer, if she was watching, would go, really? Because you keep making my husband fix all of your things that are broken, the electrical. It's actually true. And I really appreciate it, by the way. Anyway, but I don't like to ask for help. And if I ask for help, it means that I would really need it. But the few times that I've asked for help, like that's been like pretty significant, it doesn't seem like I've been able to get it, which is really depressing, because if somebody came to me and needed help and they were in my inner circle, I would do it. And even if they weren't in my inner circle, even if I couldn't help them for whatever reason, I would try to hook them up with somebody that could help them. I'm not that, it's not that I'm not some saint. I think this is where I think, to be honest with you, religion comes in. That if you are a part of a community like that, or even like some sort of a group, I think, like recovery, I think there's a lot more people that's part of it. And so I guess the answer for me would be to become part of a group, right? To become part of a group where those values are really important. Because there are a lot of tremendously selfless people out there. And I've known them, but not ones that are close enough in my inner circle that I would ever ask them for something, like to help me with something. Okay, so let's see. Amber says it's a way to control us and the land. I do not want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I'm starting to believe it. I actually am. And then in Arizona, my riding instructor is paying $15 a bail. Okay, 15. I think ours is like $16.95. I want to say if I was to have to pay retail for it, which I go through 10 bales a day. There's just no way. And then Miss Shelley saying I'll have to tell her to stop complaining. And then Shannon says animals will always love you. Well, they'll always need you. That's for sure. And then Amber says, my family's ran a dairy for generations. My uncle's milked cows since he was 5. He's 50, and last year he had to be certified by the milk company to be approved dairy cow manager. Oh, my God. Like, let's just make red tape everywhere. Like, okay, just to let you know, I got my egg handler's license, which essentially is like some stupid test that it's not even like really a test. It might have been like a mini test, like you could cheat because it's just like you just send, I don't even know. And then you pay like $10 or I can't remember. But I remember reading it's like farm fresh eggs. It could be 3 weeks from the day. I want to say it was 3 weeks from the day it was laid. Let's see. I'm sorry. Oh. And then little bits of Heaven Homestead says Julie from Nurture Batch has your amazing. She always has my back. That's awesome. That's awesome. She's a very nice person. Oh my gosh, $28 a bill in Loma, California. Couldn't keep my horses on my. Was that right? That's not now, is it? Was that 2018 or is that for Orchard? Because I know for Orchard that's what it is. And then So Quilty says you can stay on our property. That's so nice. And then Valerie says that humans are tough. So crazy difference in hay prices. Ellie Mae saying you're paying that for a square bill, like a regular grab it and throw it hay bale. So they're paying it for 3-string, which would be around 95 to about 105 pounds bill. Is $16.95, $15.22. And then 20, I know for a fact 28 to 30 is orchard grass or Timothy. And my animals need a higher protein. They can't. I had my friend brought me some round bales from Oregon because she was coming here, and my animals were like they were starved. They couldn't eat enough to get enough energy. Like they would be full, but they were like really skinny, and it was great hay. It was amazing. And then Valerie says, I love hearing your animals. They're everywhere. Diana says we only pay $9 a bale. Gail says 22 for orchard grass. Yeah. And then Pam's saying what weight bales are like 105, 110. 95 to 1, something like that. Orchard alfalfa mix. Oh, yeah. Orchard alfalfa. I love orchard alfalfa. Pam says $9 for a 40 to 50 pound Oh my God. See, that's about right. So a 100 pound bale would be $18. You guys see, I can't, there's no way I can farm. There's no way. I can't. I mean, I'm already in the hole, and my hay, I'm already in the hole, and my hay's been paid for the last, like, what is it, 2.5, 3 months? So I haven't even had a hay bill. So pile that on top of like the already, like, you know, $3,000 I'm in the hole every month, and there's just no way. Like, I don't even know. So, like, we're coming up with things, ways to fix this problem, to fix it. I don't know if it's not fixable, but, you know, the Airbnbs is one. I have a little bit, you know, I still have hay left from buying it in December. So hopefully this guy's going to come through. The only option I have is, oddly enough, my neighbor is a hay broker. He's a hay broker, but I would need him to I would need him to give it to me at a cost, which there's a chance that I might be able to get him to do it, because I'm so intolerant. Like, I won't tolerate any, like, loud noises, etc. And they have big semis coming through this dirt road, which, when I had the gal going after, there's a gal that does the sound stuff that came here for Airbnb, and she sent us her sound meter thing, and then she's going to do the report after we record it. So we've been recording it, but she's like, also, they can't have the semis. And I'm like, oh, we're not touching that neighbor. He's a hay broker, and I might need him. And then she's like, well, you really should. And I said, I'm not going to. So basically, I'm going to tell him, I'm not going after you for that. But I need your help. I'm not going to go after you anyway, but I need your help. Because it's not like what is it called? Extortion. But, they're really polite about it, but, you know, the road's really narrow. It's like, it's really not set up and it's not paved. It's a dirt road. It's not, you know, and it just, you know, you can imagine the semis going through with hay, that it just makes a dust bowl, which it's already a dust bowl. It's California. It's a dust bowl. Damn it. Let's see. And Amber's saying 20 to 25 a bale for orchard grass here. Okay. And then Teresa's saying she pays $4 for a 40-pound bale in northern Minnesota. Pam's saying it's rough right now. Yes. And then Amber's saying, not a conspiracy theory, just math. Yes, you can't farm the land, then you don't make money. I'm telling you, pushing the farmers out. Lots of farms in Oregon have suffered that fate. This is the thing, you guys. Once again, I go back to, I live in a riverbed, and they make me buy city water. I live in the county, outside of the city limits. Okay, outside of the city limits, in a riverbed. It's just, you guys, I can't. And my electrical bill is $1,000 a month. They charge me as if I have a 2-family home that's a tract home, and there's no way to, I can't even tell you. And then I was in a special program, and they kicked me out of it because they said that I used too much electricity. It's like, yes, I use too much electricity because my heat and my air is on electrical. I'm sorry, that's the way the house was when we bought it, and I have a farm. What? Sean's making me nervous because he's checking something. Joining late. Hi, joining late, but love hearing your animals too. Thank you. And then Teresa's saying she's in the boonies. People wouldn't pay it. I know. Having to buy water. Yes. And not only that. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. You know how people say, like, healthcare should be a right, and there's all these things that should be a right. I don't believe that, first of all. But what I will tell you is that water, actually, you should be able to have water. Like, if we're gonna pick one thing, like, that would be it. And, like, my husband, because remember before, I didn't inspire him. They call it enrolling. And because that is a lot of relationships. Like, what happens is, especially because it becomes, and I know in so many marriages, it's like the partnership. You forget the word partnership. It's partnership, right? It is a partnership. And so everything that the man is doing and that you're doing is for the partnership, right? If it's stuff like, for us, because it's on a farm, like if I say I need you to clean the barn, it's not because I'm an asshole and I'm lazy. It's that I really need him to clean the barn because I have to do other things. It's a partnership, and it's part of this entity, you know, having it together, right? But before, it felt like I had to micromanage things, and I had to delegate, because if I didn't, nothing would get done, right? Because I wasn't enrolling the other person. It's really a two-way street. inspiring them and letting, having the person, each of you understand, it's like the person will do whatever they can. But if they feel like they're an unpaid employee, and that if you're going to take on all the responsibility, then everybody's going to expect you. Like, I don't get my kids out of bed. That's their responsibility. And then when they don't do it, they get their phones taken away. Because their phones have alarms on them. If you are so irresponsible that you're going to go, listen to like comedy all night long, or you're going to like whatever it is you're doing, and you can't then turn your alarm on and then at least comatose, make it to school on time. Like, so that's what's going to happen. So my point is to this is that Sean has not paid our water bill, and our water has been turned off in the dead of summer. And I had no idea. Like, all of a sudden I go to turn on the sink and there's no water. And that's when I've been like, wait a minute. Like, all this, like, this should be right and this should be right. What about the fact that the water, they're forcing me to use city water. And yes, granted, it is true. He didn't pay it. But, I have animals. And then it takes them like, a day and a half to come into, and which once again, I'm not saying 1000% our responsibility, but if you were going to talk about rights, like a person should have, I think, but nobody ever talks about that we should have rights to water. We should be able to have water, for God's sake. I mean, really. It's all of these other things. Anyway. Ask a doctor if they think... I remember when I first started Reading Method, there was some gal that, and this is in a public group, she wrote that she feels like my information that I've garnished and learned should be for free. And a bunch of people were like, are you, what do you, no, I feel like information and education should be free. I was like, so like my living, I don't get to have my living because you think it should be free. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so, and then Jen, stop it in Tasmania. She's like, we get to cut our own hay. That's so nice. And then, So Quilting said she grew up in Carpinteria, not that far. And then Ellie Mae says, don't feel guilty, don't feel guilty. Irrigators are pumping all the water out of our aquifer, so we all have to drill our home wells deeper. Irrigators are pumping all the water out of our aquifer. Because you live on, is that like where the water's below, like Nebraska? I don't know much about that. And then Shannon's coming in the fall of 2020. Gosh, if you made it there in the July, you would be able to see the sheep show, the National Sheep Show. Yeah, I'm almost tempted because I think I can't remember what it is. I don't know where I got this figure, but I think at the time it was like 20 grand, and I could put in I'd have to pay the state, the county like 20,000 to put in a well. I don't know. I think we're gonna have to do some digging on this. That's like so punny of me. No. Anyway, the most important thing is that farming in the United States, we need to preserve farming. I don't understand what's going on in the world right now, and particularly in the United States. And the hard thing is that we have a lot of millennials, etc., that don't even want to take out the garbage because they didn't have to do it at home. And this idea that, you get to make your own hours and all that bullshit. It's just like, it's just so sad. But you know what? My grandparents used to say the same thing. What's going on with the young people today with rock and roll, etc.? It's like, okay, rock and roll is not what is the problem with the society. I just don't think it is. That's just me. Okay, so I'm going to show you that. My husband has tonight off, so I really want to see him. So I said 10 rows. I'm not exactly sure. So this is it. Are you guys? I'm going to put on my glasses so I can see exactly what I'm showing you. Like, I love how I got it when it started to, what's it called? Buffer. I got my glasses caught in my hair, and you're like, just leave them on. But then I can't see this, and so this is, so it's going to be a slouchy, right? Slouchy. So you're like, you could have tucked those in. I could have. So what I did, see, do you see? So I'm trying to make it like it's getting like less. Now it's going to be all black. The rest of it, because I want it to be fairly masculine. I don't want it to be too feminine. But what I did here, these things, because I told you that when I carried my yarn, below, wait, where is it? Here. When I carried my yarn here, there were 3 stitches in between. So there's like this much, because it's bulky, of it's carried behind. So I reached up like a mosaic and pulled that piece up. So here, let me show you what I mean. I think it would be way easier if I didn't have dark yarn. So what I did is, well, let's just go ahead and slip or drop those. So I reached down and grabbed this. Do you see? So that it wouldn't be long enough for me to catch a finger or something underneath, because it was like that long, too long. And then I put it on my left-hand needle and then jumped, so I wouldn't be increasing, because if I just left it, if I just used it and then knit it, I would have added a stitch. I would have increased. So that I put it through and then jumped the stitch behind it over it and then just slipped it. And that ended up not only giving me a color in here, but it also solved the problem of making a stitch. So you want to, I know you want to see what it looks like inside. I know. I'm going to show you. So on the outside, it looks like this. And on the inside, it looks like that. Because see how long it would have been? And that's way too long. And the only reason it's that long, it was only 3 stitches, is because I'm a loose knitter and it's bulky. So that was my, you're like, everybody does that. I don't think so. But maybe they do. Did that make sense, what I just said? How I solved that problem? So it should be, it's almost, it's very close. It's very close. I could probably finish it tonight if I wasn't going to have sex with my husband. Yes. You're like, stop saying that. That's so weird. We don't care. And then Miss Shelley's saying, don't blame me. I was born in the wrong generation. I get it. Are you that young, really? The Melbourne Cup in Australia, Shannon. That's exciting. And then Linda's saying, when's the next ready? I think it's going to be the yarn class, and it's going to be in April for sure. I just haven't released it yet. And then we will have to get into. Okay, see, wonderful. The hat is going to look freaking awesome. Thank you. So that whole idea of, I don't know how many, I don't know how many people are, are really good knitters, but I don't think I've ever seen that before. And actually, that would have been a cool way if I would have had it on the outside. It actually still would have been a cool thing. You could have made a design, right, using this thing, right? Yeah, I almost like the other side better. The wrong side. I don't know. I don't think it really matters. At first, when I was knitting it, I was like, because actually I ripped it out. I started it when I started it last Wednesday, which tomorrow, you guys, I'm gonna probably be late because I have a doctor's appointment at 10:30, and I forgot. But I made it 3 months ago. So I'm going to have to, I'll put that in ready method though. You're like that, but that's a sidebar. So, what the hell was I talking about? Oh, I started the hat last week, right? When we were, and I thought it was a little bit small. I want to say there were 50 something stitches. So a little bit, you're like a lot bit. It would have fit me perfectly, but to put it all around Sean's threads, it was never going to work. So I just ripped everything out. Plus, and I had done like, I want to say 4 rows of the hand spun, and I didn't like the way that looked. I thought it looked too feminine, so I thought it really needed to be broken up. And so I did that. And I don't think have I ever stuck to a pattern when I was knitting a hat. I actually don't think that I don't think I ever have. I don't think I ever have. Never. Let's see. Let's see. My hat is more like cows. That's hilarious. My hat is more like a cow size. Well, what could you know what you could do? If you kept knitting it, it could be, and then you put like a kind of a drawstring, but like it would have to be like an I-cord so that it wouldn't choke the baby. You could make a little baby, like a little pod for it, or start to crease, you know? You see what I'm saying? I made one with a rat face. I want to go get it, you guys, but you're going to think it's stupid. I made a rat one, and my friend said it was stupid. I made a baby pod that's a rat. Its actual head is a rat. And then I put horsehair whiskers through it. I'm dead serious. And I think it's super cute. I will show it to you next time. I thought it was, and she's like, it's stupid because it's a rat and rats are stupid. And I said, rats aren't stupid. People love rats. But I just thought it was really cute. It has a stuffed nose and everything. Wait. So Girl says she has her own well and solar. I want to be off grid. And then Helson said, thank you for sharing that. Yes, no problem. What I'm going to do, so I want to show you, the thing is how I made the baby pod, the rat baby pod. So, you know, it has the rat head here, like, and then it would be like where, and then you stick the baby in like this, right? But the rat head, there's this book about making stuffed animals, and so I just took, you know, loosely from that the head and then just added on the body. I think though I started from the bottom. No, I think I started from the, I think I started the head first. Started the head, and then I think it's super cute, and it's gray. The thing I don't like about it is this is before I recognized that roving yarn was bad, so it's pilled and it's never even been used. And it's starting to pill, just from like, what do they call it? She calls it shop worn. Jan calls it shop worn, even though it's never been in a shop. It's just been in my house, but just from like, you know, being around and I don't know, whatever. And then Amber says, pet rats are so smart. A Sasquatch cow, he can rock that with it. Oh, way too big. Okay, I would have like ripped it out. I'm a big frogger, you guys. I'm a firm believer in frogging. So remember I told you the class that Jan gave me, the one she gave me, the one I taught at Stitches that I got really rave reviews. So this is the yarn that I made with it. It's a single. This is a yarn. So it had to be, it's actually a very interesting concept. It's landscapes of colors. So this is the idea. You pick a picture, and you don't want vertical objects. You want horizontal objects. You pick a horizontal picture, like a landscape, and then you're loosely recreating the colors on a blending board. This is where it gets tricky. Then you're taking your roll lags off, and you have to keep them not only in order from, like, let's say 1 to 7, but the ends, each end has to be like A, B, C, D, E, F, because each end, the way that you spin it, you have to spin A, here's A, and then B is going to spin next to C, to this roll lag. So it blew my mind at first. Don't get freaked out, because I'm going to show you this, because it's a really cool concept. Okay, let me grab. I'm sorry, my face itches really bad. You're like, I know, because I keep doing that, but it's from dealing with the hay. So I really need a Sharpie to show this to you. Sometimes I have my whiteboard, and then I would be able to show you on my whiteboard. Okay, this pen is not going to work. I just know it. You're like, don't be such a pessimist. Oh, it works. So okay, so as you take the roll lags off, this would be 1, 2, 3 roll lag. You have to spin, because you'll start spinning, and this is going into the orifice. A is going into the orifice, and then you're going to be left with B, and then you have to add this end C, because the way that you knit it, the directionality matters, because you have to recreate in your knitting the landscape. So not only do you have to keep track of the way that you're doing, pulling the roulags off and you're spinning, you also have to knit it. So when you pull it, it's complicated. It's very simple, but it's keeping track complicated. So I'll show you the little hat that I knit from it the same day I did it. So, and I wanted it to be small, believe me, because I was just trying to figure it out. So my landscape had like ocean, it had ocean, and then it was like foggy, and then there were like some wildflowers and fog, and then there was like a sunset. And so literally I pulled my roulags off in order and spun it exactly in order, the way that, so that it would go, my bobbin, each part would be connected to the way that in sequence. And then I had to take it off of the bobbin and then rearrange it so that, and then I did a cast on that wasn't a long tail. It's like that super simple cast on, so that I wasn't wasting any of my yarn, because I needed that beginning part to be part of my bottom here. And so anyway, it's kind of cute, super cute. Is it? Yeah, super cute. And it's just such a great, I mean, this was such a great idea that she had, I thought. I actually would wear this hat. If I wore hats, I would probably wear it. Let me look at it. I don't even know if I've ever put it on. You're like, what about the big hole in it? No, there's no hole in it. But yeah, so I think I did this like, I want to say a year and a half ago, maybe. Year and a half ago. But it was just, what I loved is the whole thing about making the roulags and the whole thing. It was just a good experience. The whole thing was good. And so, like I said, I taught it one time with Jan, and then I taught it this last time. And people loved it. It's a great class. Let's see. And then Diana's saying, I'm going to your retreat in May. Is the yarn class? Yes, the yarn class is different. And then Pam's asking about Matha, and then it is not, Matha is going to be, that's a 2.5 day class, so it's going to be raw fibers, and it's different than the one that is happening at Sherry Tenney's, which Sherry Tenney, I'm so happy Sherry's doing this. And then Pam said, freaking awesome and must try, very cute. And then Carol saying, hope to see Sherry at Maryland Sheep and Wool. Is anyone else going? And then Pam says, and it retains the landscape. Yes, it does retain the landscape. That's the idea. That is the idea. I don't know. I was so happy that she gave me this class. And then it was funny, but one of the gals there was like saying basically that she has done something similar. But then when I dug deeper, and I asked her friend and her friend's like, her girlfriend, and her girlfriend was like, no, it's not that idea. So at first I was like, wait a second, did Jan give me a class that was someone else's? But she didn't. But the way the lady was like being kind of not a know-it-all, but kind of, and it really wasn't. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go in a few minutes. Just learn how to make roulags with my hand cards, you guys, and you should, and let me just tell you right now that making roulags is not as hard as people make it out to be. And so I want people, if you're afraid, don't be afraid, just do it. It's much easier on a blending board, actually. I mean, well, it's not. I mean, it's so simple. What I like about it is this, is it more simple? It probably is a little bit simpler. Oh my gosh, Amy, you have terribly slow connection. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mary Holmes. Susie Q, that's awesome. I love, and that's, I mean, honestly, I do love to take both locks and top and mix them up. But I think, it makes a finer yarn if you just use top. And then Allison says, I wish I could attend all of Sherry's classes. Sherry's really nice. Could you do, yes, you could do a similar landscape bat on a drum carder. Absolutely, Jody. Absolutely. Absolutely, no. And then one of the ladies was telling me there that when I was doing the class that she actually prefers to do her roulags off of a drum carder. Anyway, okay, so listen, next week though, I'm going to have something interesting. I'm not sure what it is. I'm distracted right now because I want to get frisky with my husband. You're like, we've already seen these. They're my Yves Saint Laurent Trip 2. This is my favorite style. I have 3 pairs of I have 2 black and 1 red. I love this style, but they're really expensive, but I only will buy them if I can get them it has to be 125 and under, which is like, I want to say it's probably like, I think they're probably like $600 or more new. I mean, and mine are usually been worn once. And then Yves Saint Laurent is one of those shoes that's really hard to get to fit right. So they run small. And anyway, I think that's why they sometimes end up on eBay, is because people are like, or I think the 6-inch heel, even though it's really like 5-inch because there's a 1-inch platform, it's hard for people. And then Amber says, I use carding combs and I wrap the fiber around a pencil. That's cool. I use carding combs. Okay. And then Allison says, if I were a rich girl, I'd just hop on my jet and cruise out. Yeah. And then, okay, you guys. So listen. Well, the thing with the car, I use a different size one for the middle. We'll talk about that next week. Actually, okay, you guys. I'll talk more about the class. Wait, I want to teach you something really fun next week. Let me think about this. I want to teach you something next week. I will. I'll do something. I'll teach you guys something. You're like, you've said it 3 times. We got it. Okay. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to go with my husband. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And let me think about this. I'm definitely going to teach you something, and I'm going to do yarn because I don't have any yarn to give away today because I didn't dye any, but I'm going to dye some for this class. I'm going to dye some for this class that I'm putting up because I want to put up the teaser and have the yarns be beautiful. And I will probably do those tomorrow or Thursday, and then it'll be up by, I don't know, Monday. But it doesn't matter because somebody is going to get some yarn on Tuesday night. You guys, I love you, and I will see you then. Have a great rest of the week and a great weekend.